I think this season it's going to be a very tough one. As you can see, a lot of teams, I think they have beefed up their teams, so it's not going to be easy. But as NAPSA Stars, we have our short and long-term goals. So our short-term goals, obviously, last season we missed out on the qualification for the APSA. So this season we are looking forward if we can do better in the first round of the season, so that we can qualify to play in the quarterfinals for the APSA. Long term, obviously, we came out number 5 last season. So as a team, as individuals, we want to do better than we did last season.
Thank you very much, Ben. I think this season is going to be interesting because I think we are ready for this season. We've prepared adequately for this season as a team. We did some pre-season. I think the pre-season we did was okay. It was okay for us as a team and as individuals. I think we prepared adequately for this season and we're ready for this season.
Thank you, John. I think this season, as you have seen or we have read on pages, that teams have recruited good, and it's going to be tough. But as NAPSA, I think we are also up to the task. We have been preparing good, and hopefully we are going to do much better than we did last season.
Thank you very much, Gwen. I think we did a very good pre-season. Yeah, and we want to have a true reflection of the pre-season we had in Princeton. I think the expectations for the season, I think as an individual, yeah, I'm going to have a good season, and as a team we are expecting to have a good season. Yeah, and I think for the good season to happen, I think it should start with the first games. So we want to start on a high, yeah, so that we can again finish on a good note. Thank you.
What about the short-term goals, which are to qualify to the APSA? And I think we missed out last season because we didn't start very well. So this season, yes, we know we have very big games. I think we have, in fact, maybe in the first 7 games, because there's Nkana, there's Zanaco, there's Red Arrows, there's Warriors, there's Zesco, of course, the first game. But of course, all the teams, I think, this season are going to be tough. But the most important thing, I think, is to how we have prepared. And I think lessons learned from last season. So it doesn't matter who we are going to face. Of course, even the first game, a very huge game. But we are going to do our best. We know Zesco, I think, in the last decade, the best team in Zambia, but we are also an emerging team. We want to do well, so it's not going to be easy, but we have got plans for all the games until the last match of the season. But yes, huge games, but we are targeting to, of course, being the first games, to do well, so that going forward we all have the confidence and make sure we end on a high in the first round.
Coming to your question, I think I'll echo from the coach's words, which he said our short-term target, which is to play APSA. For us to play APSA, we need to win our first games. So I think we're prepared for these first 5 games. We'll prepare each and every game as it comes. No game is going to be easy this season because a lot of teams have prepared adequately and have beefed up their squads. So equally, even us, we are ready for this season and prepared adequately in the pre-season. I think we are ready for each and every team that is going to come our way. And for us to achieve something as a team, we need to shine in games like this, like the ones you said, the first 5 games. So we need to up our game, and definitely we're going to work extra hard for that, for us to achieve our short-term goal first. Thank you, man.
I think these first games are the ones which are going to give us an identity as a team. to be the best, you have to be the best. So as a team, we just have to enjoy these games, do well, and they give us an identity. Yeah, thank you.
I think coming to that, I think there are a few teams when it comes more especially to World Cup or Africa Cup qualifiers. I think only a few teams contribute to the national team because most of the pool of players is selected from overseas based clubs. So it's not an easy one, but I believe if we do well, the most important, I think the coach also will look at the teams which are doing well. But of course, even players who are at the teams of which are not doing well, they are looked at. But the most important thing, I think, this has been a project, and I believe even last season we had players, I think, who deserved to be in the national team, especially for the COSAFA assignments. But it didn't happen because we are different coaches. So for me, it's like Chapa said, the identity of the team, and of course to do the basics in football. But I believe this season, I think we are going to contribute to the national team.
Thank you, Sandy. For me, it's always to do better than how we did last season. So last season, we finished on top 5, and I believe in progression. So this year, we are looking to do even much better than how we did last season, and I'm sure it will even be better if we finish in a position that we can represent the country. That's always our objective. Thank you.
Just like David has said, I think the biggest objective, we have to do well than we did last season, because in life I think to improve is the most important thing. We don't have to be stagnant. Yes, it was a respectable position. Were we happy? Yes, we are happy. But can we do better? The answer is yes. So this season we are looking forward to do that, to do well than we did last season. Coming to the new players, I think in that regard we haven't done a lot. We hope by the end of the transfer window we are going to see some new faces, because we need to refresh the squad. Of course, the core of the team, we still have it, but we need some new faces. And we are hoping by the end of business, of the transfer business, I think we are going to see some new faces. Yes, we might be late, but it will be important we bring in some new faces to refresh the squad. Thank you. That, I think by the time that was the time of the league when we are at position 2. So it was sad we didn't come out number 2, because almost the end of the season we're at number 2 with 4 games to go. So I think I was going to be foolish if we didn't want to finish in the top 2, to say another team was going to take our position. It didn't happen, but again we came out at a respectable position. So that time I think if it was any other coach or any other team, any other players, then they could have lacked ambition, but we are a team with ambition. I think we have got, you can see the players I have here, Dixon, Davy, Keegan, I think big players, so we should have ambition always. Thank you. Because football is a project, we want to do better than we did last season. So we have to make sure we have a plan, and the plan, I think, it's not just about the coach, the players, a plan, everyone involved with the team, I think we should bring our heads together, and then we plan for what we are going to do this season. And hopefully, like I have said, we have to have at least to refresh the team, so that the new players will bring in, will add something. You could see last time we added the likes of Augustine Mlenga, and you could see what he added to the team. So we are hoping we are going to do the same even this season. And the long-term targets. The short term is to qualify for APSA. We are not talking about winning the APSA. We are talking about qualifying to the APSA. The long term is about doing better than we did last season. So it's about being in the top 5. But when the chance presents itself, why not go for it? Just like last season, I think at some point we were number 2, and we said we are going to go for number 2. It didn't happen, but all the same, knowing from where we are coming from, number 5 was a respectable position for us, but we could have done better, and always we are going to aim for that. Thank you. A successful season will be when we improve on what we did last season. Because one thing I think which we should remember is we are coming from the lower division last season. So football doesn't lie. I think this is a team which was playing continental football. And if things are not done in the right way, sometimes you find yourselves in a situation where you are not supposed to be. So it was a bad thing for a team like NAPSA playing continental in the group stages and going down. So it means things have to be done the right way. I've talked about in the last question from Sandra. It's about, if we want to do well in anything, it's about the preparations. What kind of preparations have we done to compete in the CAF? What type of preparations have we done to compete in the league? What kind of players have you brought to compete in the international games? What kind of players? What number? Everything. It's a lot of things which are involved in football. So for us, we'll take it step by step, because we came out number 5 last season, but this is a team which went down. So it will be a success if we do well than if we be in the top 5. So it will be a success if we be in the top 5. Coming to the first question, is it to win titles? Being a project, yes, we must make sure we are not going to live in the past because we came out number 5. So as the season goes, we are going to set targets. Like I have said, we have set targets for the short term, which is to qualify. So as the season goes, of course we want to do better than the 5th position we got last time. So always we are going to be setting new targets. That's the way we are going to go in this season, because sometimes it's not good to say we are going to do this. I know the kind of players we have, so the kind of things the kind of players we have to recruit. I've talked about the players we want to recruit, because up to this time I think we are not done with the recruitments. So when we are done with that, I think that's when I'm going to give a complete answer. Thank you. I think you gave an answer to your question, which you said maybe in Zambia it happens a lot, but I think it's the world over where you find Mason Mount from Chelsea to Man U, Caicedo from Brighton to Liverpool or Chelsea, McAllister from Brighton. I think it's the same thing. Sometimes it's just it depends with the coaches. Which kind of players are you going to bring? Because you need to have a certain way of playing. You need to have a philosophy. So you find that there are times when you have inherited a team where you need to have the right players to play in a certain way. So you might be right in saying maybe it's because of it's lack of funds. Yes, because we need to buy players. So, but football is a business, and we we need to move away from a situation where we are going to be saying lack of funds, because I believe football is a business. If we plan well, we need to dig deep and do the right thing, which is to make available the players to the coach who he thinks are going to play in the way he wants. So I think we have to do better in that, because it's what you want as a coach. And we are here, we haven't done a lot of, we haven't brought in a lot of players, because I'm not going to bring in any player who is available, because we need to have the right players to come in. There are some teams, they have, I think, beefed up more than 10, 7, 6. So for us, it's about the right player, and obviously it's about obviously the management to say, okay, we are going to give you such a number to bring in players. But at the moment, I think we are not done, and hopefully by the end of the transfer window, we'll be done.